looking for the perfect place to live in Mexico? Acapulco might be the hidden gem that you've been searching for. Now, picture waking up to incredible ocean views, enjoying budget-friendly beach living, tasting great food, and meeting warm, friendly people. Now, Acapulco is not just a vacation spot, it's a lively city with a rich history, modern services, and a relaxed coastal way of life. With affordable housing, good healthcare, and warm weather all year, it's an excellent choice for people moving to Mexico. Hey everyone, welcome back to Mexico Relocation Guide. In this video, we're checking out this wonderful city and everything it has to offer, from its beautiful seaside sights to its great cost of living. So what do you say? Comencemos. Acapulco is a stunning bay on Mexico's Pacific coast, surrounded by tall buildings and the Sierra Madre del Sur mountains. The city became famous in the 1950s and 60s, and today, it's still known for its gorgeous beaches and tropical weather. On weekends, you will see crowds of people from Mexico City and other parts of Mexico vacationing here. With about 850,000 residents, Acapulco mixes history, culture, and modern comforts. Now, its streets are surrounded by beautiful vegetation, which is very typical of the state of Guerrero. There are also excellent medical services, many shopping options, and a lot of affordable housing choices. So, what's the weather like? The average yearly temperature in Acapulco is about 71 degrees Fahrenheit or about 22 degrees Celsius, with lows that can drop to around 64 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius, in the coolest early mornings. And you can also expect highs to be around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. However, on the hottest days of the year, temperatures can easily reach up to 97 to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is over 36 or about 40 degrees Celsius. And because of the humidity, the heat index can feel more like 105 or 106 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes it feel even hotter. Now, the climate in Acapulco has two main seasons. You have the rainy season and the dry season. The rainy season will last anywhere from June to September, with September being the rainiest month. During this time, rainfall can be heavy, and sometimes the city is at risk of hurricanes and tropical storms, especially from August through October. On the other hand, the dry season goes from November to May, and it's a popular time to visit Acapulco because it truly has the most ideal weather for going to the beach and being out and about. During these months, temperatures will stay around 86 degrees Fahrenheit with sunny, hot days, and the humidity isn't that high. So what's the vibe like? Well, Acapulco has actually been home to foreigners and locals for decades, especially in its golden years. Today, the international community is smaller than in other beach destinations like Playa del Carmen or Puerto Vallarta, but it's still a place where foreigners can enjoy a relaxed lifestyle and a warm welcome. Now, most expats in Acapulco are primarily from the United States or Canada, but there are also residents from other parts of the world. The city offers many ways for you to socialize, such as community activities or just daily life on its beaches and in its markets. And unlike other places more focused on the foreigner community, English is not commonly spoken by locals, unless they work in tourism or the hospitality industry. So learning Espanol will make it easier to fit in and will enrich your experience of living in Acapulco. Now let's look at one of the most critical topics of moving to a new city, which is housing. Acapulco is not as big as Mexico City, and it's also not as small as somewhere like Ajijic or San Miguel de Allende, so finding a place to live won't be too hard. To get a better idea, Acapulco is divided into three main areas: the traditional area, the Zona Dorada, and the Zona Diamante. Now, starting with the traditional zone, this is about an hour away from Acapulco's International Airport. Traveling that distance will cost you around 600 pesos or about $30 by car. The vibe in the traditional zone is the classic Acapulco feel. You can find simple apartments starting at 5,000 pesos per month, which is around $250, up to 15,000 pesos per month for larger houses with more amenities. That's about 750 US dollars, depending on the exchange rate. Now, everyday life here is definitely laid back. It's a beach city for sure. There's lots of greenery and historic streets in the traditional zone. You can visit the central market where you'll find fruit, vegetables, and fresh goods at very reasonable prices. There are also small shops, local bakeries, convenience stores, and restaurants, or fondas, with complete meals for around 4 US dollars or about 90 pesos. Now, it's also common to see vendors on tricycles selling sweetbread, tamales, and other Mexican snacks in the streets. You'll also find several convenience stores like Oxxos, Circle K, and Tiendas 3B, which are the 3Bs in Mexico: bueno, bonito, y barato. These are the kinds of stores where you can buy personal hygiene products, cleaning supplies, snacks, groceries, and even pay for things like utilities, water, electricity, phone, and internet. Now, if you need imported products, there is a Walmart Express in the traditional zone. There are also community health centers and pharmacies with affordable medical offices where you can get basic care and medication without private insurance. Now, even though the medical infrastructure here is not as modern as in somewhere like the Zona Diamante or the Diamond Zone, it's still a reliable option for general checkups and minor emergencies. Now, when it comes to fun, this area has one of Acapulco's most famous shows, and that's the La Quebrada, which are huge cliffs where cliff divers who jump from cliffs over 30 meters high, and you can see them pretty much every day. You can also visit the San Diego Fort, a museum about the city's history, or you can also take a stroll to enjoy the sunset along the Paseo del Pescador. Now, even though it's not the most modern part of Acapulco, it's perfect if you want your living costs to remain lower, a more local feel, and a chance to really experience Mexican culture while still being near the best part, which is the ocean. The next area is the Zona Dorada. It's the busiest part of Acapulco, and it's about 30 minutes from the international airport. A private taxi to get here will cost you around 500 pesos, depending on the distance. Now, this area stretches along the famous Costera Miguel Alemán, which is the main tourist avenue by the bay. It connects to beaches, restaurants, bars, and shopping malls. Now, here, rental prices vary depending on the location and, of course, the type of housing. But you can find simple one-bedroom apartments starting at 8,000 pesos per month, which is around 400 US dollars, to bigger 3-bedroom apartments that can go up to 30,000 pesos per month, which is around 1,500 US dollars. Now, while houses and homes in gated communities can cost more like 40,000 pesos a month, and that's about 2,000 US dollars, and especially if they're close to the beach or if they have an ocean view. Now, the Zona Dorada is a lively zone with lots of places to eat. You'll find everything from taco stands, seafood restaurants, to international chain restaurants. Most hospitals are in this zone, so it has mid to high-end private clinics like Hospital del Pacífico, Hospital Magallanes, and Hospital Aqua, offering general and specialized care. So if being close to a hospital is very important to you, perhaps the Zona Dorada might be the best place. Now, in the Zona Dorada, there are also many pharmacies with affordable medical offices such as Farmacias Similares and Farmacias del Ahorro, where you can get low-cost medical checkups. I'm talking like 2 to 3 US dollars for a checkup. And that's without insurance. Plus, you also have private hospitals here that have emergency rooms, lab tests, specialized care in different medical fields. Now, getting around is easier thanks to public transportation along the Costera, making it convenient to go to other parts of Acapulco. There are buses and shared vans that charge anywhere around 12 pesos per trip, and that's less than 1 US dollar. Taxis cost less here than in other tourist cities in Mexico, usually between 80 to 200 pesos depending on the distance. That's about 4 to 10 US dollars. Now, for fun, this area has the best nightlife. You'll find popular bars and clubs where both locals and tourists party with a view of the bay. There are also malls like Galerías Diana, and Galerías Acapulco. These have fashion stores, restaurants, and a ton of retailers that you're probably familiar with. Now, if you want a balance between comfort, fun, and being close to Acapulco's most famous beaches, the Zona Dorada or the Golden Zone is really a great choice. It's ideal if you like a more active lifestyle with easy access to all services. Now, the next area is probably one of the most popular, and that is the Zona Diamante or the Diamond Zone. It's a more modern tourist area with luxury hotels, condos, private villas, and upscale homes. It goes from the end of the main avenue, which is Costera Miguel Alemán, to Acapulco's last beach, which is Barra Vieja. The easiest way to get around here is by private taxi, which costs around 80 pesos or about $4, depending on the distance. If you want more comfort, you can obviously rent a car. And if you don't mind taking public transportation, that is also widely available. Now, if you're looking for a place to live, you'll find apartments and houses in gated communities with pools and 24/7 security, and prices for these range from anywhere from 10,000 pesos to over 50,000 pesos a month. So that's anywhere between $500 to about $2,500. The range depends on the location, the size of the home, and of course the amenities for the privada or the community in which you live in. For shopping, the Diamond Zone or La Zona Diamante also has some of the best grocery stores like La Comer, Chedraui Selecto, which both have gourmet options and a ton of imported products. Now, when it comes to hospitals, this area has private clinics and high-level specialty offices like Centro Médico Diamante, which provides quality medical services. And of course, there's also many pharmacies with affordable medical care throughout all of Acapulco, and surely the Zona Diamante is no exception. Now, if you want a calmer lifestyle, this area has several residential areas with ocean views, open spaces, access to golf courses, private beaches, so it's an excellent choice for people who truly want exclusivity and safety in a modern, relaxed setting. If you're thinking about buying property in Acapulco, there are some good options here. In the Golden Zone or the Zona Dorada, one of the more traditional and busy tourist areas, you can find apartments starting at 1.8 million pesos, which is about $100,000. Now, these are great for vacation rentals or for making it your primary home. Now, meanwhile, in the Zona Diamante or the Diamond Zone, which is more exclusive and has a higher demand during peak seasons, apartment prices here start at 2.5 million pesos, which is around $125,000. Now, if you were looking into investing in this area, you can probably rent those out for around 2,500 pesos a night or more, which is about 120 US bucks, depending on the location and, of course, the amenities. Now, of course, let's talk about the utility bills and the other monthly bills that you should consider if you want to live in Acapulco. The average cost of services here is similar to other coastal towns in Mexico, but you'll likely pay more for electricity because you're gonna need air conditioning. So you see, in Mexico, the Federal Electricity Commission, or the CFE, is the only electricity company in the whole country. Bills come every 2 months, and costs in Acapulco will range between 1,500 and 3,500 pesos. That's about 75 to about 175 US dollars, depending on usage, how efficient your air conditioning is, and of course, how much you actually use it. So for a 2-bedroom apartment with 2 people, it's generally going to be in this range. However, keep in mind that during the hottest months, your bill can go up because of more air conditioning use. Now, water service in Acapulco is provided by Capama. A monthly water bill for a typical house will range around $7 to about $20 a month. It just depends on the usage. However, in some developments, like in the Zona Dorada, the cost can be higher because of private maintenance fees. Now, gas in Acapulco is not billed monthly. You actually buy tanks that you need to refill either on your own or somebody comes to your house to refill them. And some homes have stationary tanks, while others use gas cylinders and need replacing. The cost will run around $20 to $40 $5 per refill, depending on the tank size and depending on your usage. And this usually lasts a couple, 1 to 2 months. Now, the leading internet provider in Acapulco are Telmex, Izzy, and Total Play. And you can expect prices to range anywhere between $25 to about $90 a month, depending on the plan, but there are fiber optic connections up to 1 gigabytes per second of download speed. Now, before we get into your shopping options, I would love to know, where are you watching us from? Let me know in the comments down below. If you are enjoying this overview of Acapulco, don't forget to like this video. Your support helps us remain visible on YouTube and also helps more people find our content, and of course, then we can help them move to Mexico the right way. I would also like to invite you to visit our website and get our free email series on how to live in Mexico. We share a lot of really great insights that have helped thousands move to Mexico the right way. So don't miss the links in the comments of this video. All right, now let's get into some of the shopping options. Now, shopping at local markets is a long-standing tradition here in Mexico. Not only is it a way to help small producers, but you can also get some of the best, fresh, high-quality products at very reasonable costs. In Acapulco, there are several traditional markets where you can find everything you need in one place. And some of the most popular are Mercado Central, which is located in the heart of the city. Here you can buy fresh fruits, vegetables, seafood, meat, dairy, spices, some crafts, clothing, and even a wide variety of kitchen and household items. There's also Mercado La Progreso, which is smaller, but it still has a lot of variety. It's a great place to eat and also buy fruits, spices, clothing, and home goods without the big crowds of the Mercado Central. Now, if you prefer to buy everything in one place or you want brand name products, Acapulco has many supermarkets, like I mentioned in some of the neighborhoods earlier. But you also have Soriana, Bodega Aurrera, you have a Sam's Club, and of course you have Chedraui, Walmart. And these stores offer a wide range of both national and imported products. Some also sell household and office supplies. You can also find the Home Depot, Office Depot, and Office Max in the city. Now, if you enjoy going to shopping centers with international brands, Acapulco has different shopping options. And I mean, it has malls in some of these neighborhoods that we mentioned, but you can find basically everything that you would need. Plus, they also have some familiar chains in them like Burger King, KFC, Pizza Hut, and then of course a famous Starbucks. So what about healthcare? What can you expect when living in Acapulco? Well, not only is the city full of farmacias or pharmacies where you can find prescription medicines, over-the-counter products, some of your daily routine or daily care needs, and medical supplies, but many pharmacies also offer consultation services, making it easy for residents to handle minor health issues without having to make an appointment at a doctor and while spending the least amount of money. Now, doctors' offices are located in pharmacies and they're widespread. Some of the best-known pharmacy chains in Acapulco are Farmacias Similares, Farmacias del Ahorro, and Farmacias Guadalajara. All of these also have websites where you can easily look up a medication if you wanted to find out if they have it before actually going to the pharmacy. Now, some public hospitals are Hospital General de Acapulco and the IMSS Hospital, which is run by the government. You could also join to become a member of the IMSS once you become a resident of Mexico, even if you don't work for a Mexican company. Now, there are also private hospitals that we mentioned earlier that offer high-quality care and faster service than public hospitals. And some of these include Hospital Privado Magallanes, Hospital Santa Lucía, and Hospital Médica Avanzada. So you see, you have a lot of options for healthcare, whether it's something minor or something more serious. Acapulco really has you covered. So now that we have that covered, how are you going to get around? Now, in case you're wondering, Acapulco has a great international airport that connects the city with several national and international destinations. But you can also get here by bus. The bus terminal has routes from Mexico City, which cost around 800 pesos, about 40 bucks. It also connects you to Cuernavaca for about 600 pesos or about 30 US dollars, and to Córdoba, Veracruz, which is around 1600 pesos or about $80. Now, many bus routes use the Autopista del Sol highway, which has stunning views along the way. To get around the city, it's pretty easy thanks to different public transportation options. Now, unlike other cities, Acapulco, it is very common to share a taxi with other people on set routes, and they are very cheap and quick. Now, if you want more comfort, there are private taxis, of course, but just make sure you agree on the fare before getting in. Now, if you're wondering about rideshare apps like Didi, Uber, and InDriver, now these are not available right now in Acapulco, unfortunately. However, you will find that Uber does operate for things like food delivery in all areas. You can also use things like Rappi, which is also a food delivery and delivers other things to your home. Now, the cheapest way to get around is obviously by far walking, but for public transportation, that would be by bus, which runs along the Costera Miguel Alemán and other key spots. However, just be ready because it's totally an experience. It has loud music and colorful lights at night. Now, there's also the Aca Bus, which is a more modern system that connects various parts of the city. You need to buy a card to ride it and load money on it at most stations. And if you want more freedom and speed, you can rent a scooter or bike to explore at your own pace. Or if you plan to visit, places that are further away, or you want more comfort, then of course renting a car is a good option. And then of course, if you want to drive your car, you can absolutely drive your car in Acapulco. If you're going to be driving from the United States or Canada, you can import your car either as a temporary import or permanent import, or you can also buy one in Mexico. Just remember that if you are driving a foreign plated car in Mexico, it is absolutely crucial that you get insurance from a Mexican provider. Your international or your insurance from abroad will not work in Mexico. And of course, that applies too if you're going to buy a car in Mexico. Very important. Now, here's a pro tip. Plan your travel time during high season because the Costera Miguel Alemán, which is a main vein around Acapulco, gets very crowded. So if you need to be at the airport or if you need to be somewhere during high season, make sure that you plan your travel time. So what can you expect to do here for fun? Well, obviously the number one thing will be the beaches. But once you've actually gotten your tan on and you want to explore the city more, if you want to spend time in places full of tradition and history, the most iconic areas of Acapulco are the Zócalo and the Costera Miguel Alemán, which is that main avenue that connects the whole city. So here you'll see the city's most authentic side, with a lively mix of history, culture, and beach life. Walking through the Zócalo is like diving into Acapulco's traditional soul. Beneath the shade of tall trees and the hustle of street vendors, you'll find the Cathedral of Our Lady of Solitude, a church with a colonial-style design, and around it are cafes and restaurants that serve snacks, sell crafts, creating a laid-back vibe where locals and tourists alike enjoy the ocean breeze. Now, on the other hand, the Costera Miguel Alemán is the city's modern heartbeat. Now, stretching along the bay, this avenue is a center of activity with hotels, bars, stores, and restaurants. So during the day, it's perfect for walking along the beach, and at night, it becomes a go-to spot for nightlife, offering something for everyone. I mean, you will see families, you will see people in their 20s, you will definitely see people of all ages enjoying all the amenities that are situated along this main avenue. If your plan is to enjoy nature, whether by relaxing on the beach, hiking, or doing some outdoor sports, Acapulco has it all. Now, near the coast, Isla La Roqueta is a lovely spot where you can reach by boat for 60 pesos or about $3, or you can rent a kayak. You'll find walking paths and clear waters perfect for snorkeling. If you want a more upscale experience, you also have golf courses like Costa Azul and Vidanta, which offer first-class facilities. And then you can also play paddle tennis at La Curva for around 350 pesos, which is around 17 US dollars before 3 p.m., or about 400 pesos or 20 US dollars afterwards. Now, both places have a restaurant on site. They also have a bar, a pool, making them great for sports and relaxation in this awesome destination. It's a great way to just spend the day. You'll also find local and national gym chains throughout the city, like Smart Fit, where monthly memberships start at 30 US dollars or about 600 pesos. So what do you think? Has this given you a clear idea of what Acapulco has to offer for anyone thinking about moving to Mexico? I would love to know in the comments. Now, Acapulco keeps its Mexican spirit very much alive, with most of its tourism coming from inside the country, which makes it perfect for those who want a more authentic experience that isn't heavily influenced or shaped by foreign tourism. But it also means that you'll also very much need to adapt to the local culture. Now, if you're thinking about taking the leap and moving to Acapulco, it definitely has a lot of potential for a fresh start with warm weather all year and a welcoming, rich culture. Now, if you like this video and want to learn more about life in Acapulco or other Mexican cities, please don't forget to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to learn about some of the other best places to live in Mexico, make sure that you check out our website, mexicorelocationguide.com, and check out our blog. So this is not goodbye, amigos. This is just an hasta luego. I hope that you have enjoyed this overview of Acapulco, and I would love to know in the comments if you can see yourself living here. I will see you all in our next video. Nos vemos!